Alright, we're on our way back from the last Infinite Forbidden Regionals at the end of August. It is the winter of Snake Eye Fiendsmith format. Everyone's expecting a huge ban list to fix the format, but here I am with my top 34 60 card Pendulum Soup deck. I played against Tenpai twice, Ice Barrier once, and Snake Eye Fiendsmith 5 times. Finished 4-3-1. All the non-wins, and one of the wins came from Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Played against it a lot. And, well, no deck can beat it. That's how it is. But still proud of how I did today. This is the current version. It's kind of become the 60-card Dragon Link style pile. So, let's get into this wild creation of mine here. So we'll start by explaining the Magician engine first. Well, I guess Performapal Skullcrabat Joker kind of puts it all together. You search for a Magician Pendulum monster. You could search Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon to go straight into the Supreme Kings if you want, but I didn't have room for that, never felt the need for it. Continuing the Magicians, we have 3 Harmonizing. This card does everything for the deck. And I'm sorry I haven't got a 3rd Ultra Rare. Someone mail me one. Yeah, this can get you a rank 7, or it can get you a level 8 Synchro to get a field spell, or you can just make a rank 4 like Abyss Dweller. It just gets you another body. It's one of the best things to search for with Beyond the Pendulum, or Joker if you find that. We got 3 Wisdom Eye Magician. This very much helps with consistency, because if you open one of your Magicians for a high scale, you can get to this guy, Supreme King Gate Magician. Or if you're probably getting to this guy anyway, so then you use this to get your high scale of choice. Yeah, Wisdom Eye is great for consistency, and usually if I just need a non-tuner to make a level 8 Synchro, it's usually Wisdom Eye I'm going for, because I won't miss him if he gets banished. I've already got scales established. But yeah, this guy and the Donut. This is like, I think if you're playing a Pendulum deck in 2024 and beyond, you gotta play either Wakaushi or Supreme King Gate Magician. But I just like a Supreme King Gate Magician more these days, because then I don't have to worry about limiting myself to how many spells I'm playing. It searches some really good stuff. It's level 7, which is great. It's a Dark Magician for stats. This is kind of a brick. All the words on it don't matter. It's just your non-magician gate that you use to summon more of these guys from your hand. It's good to save one of these in your hand after you Pendulum summon. Just wait as long as possible to use it to recover from Nibiru. I did that at least twice today. So now getting into more of the Supreme King stuff. You know, Supreme King Gate Magician is kind of the, you know, it's 2 archetype names stapled together like Snake Eyes, Dio Bellstar. So now we'll get into the Supreme Kings. Good old Darkworm, the other good starter. Good to normal summon, but it can also be summoned from grave if you have no other guys, of course. So we got 3 Dragon Shrines and a Foolish Burial, so lots of access to Darkworm. Really helps. It's good to get 2 bodies on the field before you try to Pendulum summon, and that's one of the best ways. I'm up to 3 Lightworm here, because I'm usually searching for Lightworm, or if I already have it, then I can get Wings of Light instead. It's useful as a high scale. I just decided that I'm always happy to see Lightworm in my opening hand. Even having 2 means I can scale one and summon the other. And because I'm playing 60 cards, I'm less worried about drawing multiples of the same card. So, yeah, 3 Lightworm is fine. As for, yeah, and the rest of the Supreme King package here, we got 2 Pendulum Evolution and 2 Wings of Light. I was on 3 of each, but I wanted to make room for more stuff, so I kind of went back to my 40-ish card approach of like, I'd never want to see multiples of this because they're once per turn effects, and they're spell cards that don't have a level, so I can't Pendulum summon them, so they can be bricky. I think you still want to play at least 2 Wings of Light no matter what, because sometimes you'll open with it, but you can search another one for next turn to search either Darkworm for a 5 scale, or Lightworm for a high scale, or Gate Magician for a low scale. Just whatever you need in case one of your scales gets taken away. Or there can be lines where you use SK Magician to search this to search another one, so you can summon the next one from your hand. As for Pendulum Evolution, I'm not playing Dark Anthelion Dragon anymore. I don't have a Pendulum monster in my extra deck anymore. So it's only here for the first effect to search for Astrograph to do the Nibiru vibe check play. I'll dig some cards out at the end to explain that again. Okay, so that's kind of our main core cards here. Now we're going to get onto some of the bonus cards. These are our extenders and gas. We just try to have more stuff than our opponent has answers for. So of course we have a large Kashtira package. We are now maining Unicorn and Birth, because when you play 60 cards, it's hiding in your deck somewhere. You're not going to open it. You're gonna be able to search it, and plus really hard. But we got to max out on Wraitsoth and Fenrir to max our chances of seeing this guy. However, he does clash with Dragon Shrine for Darkworm. Like, if you control no monsters, do you start with Fenrir or Darkworm? It kind of depends on your hand or what you want to try to bait out of your opponent. If it's game 1 and they don't know what you're playing, you probably want to lead Fenrir. I actually, Fenrir drew out a lot of Imperms today. It was really funny. They would, waste their Imperm on that, and then I normal summon Joker and do a big Pendulum combo after that. And as you know, you can special Fenrir, normal any Pendulum, make Beyond the Pendulum, and then you Pendulum summon the Unicorn you searched with Fenrir to search Birth to get Fenrir back from grave. And then you have rank 7 options, or maybe just using your Kashtiras, leaving them on your end board. They're great end board pieces. Also, the stat boost on Wraitsoth is pretty nice. We have Light and Dark for sure, but the Kashtiras are adding Earth, and we also have a couple of Wind guys as well. It can be nice to just have a couple extra attack points. Our guys are kind of decent mid-sized beaters. More extension here. I'm playing a Draco face-off package now. This is emergency teleport that gets you a field spell. It's so good. It's so good in Pendulum. I decided to play 2 Draco Overlords just to reduce the chances of face-off going dead. There's a second Draco Slayer in the side deck I'll talk about in a bit. Other reason is I wanted to play a normal one so I can send an extra thing on Dragon Shrine. Sometimes with Beyond the Pendulum, I just want, or not Beyond, with Exceed the Pendulum, I'll just want one extra guy in the graveyard. This can still be your non-tuner for Supreme King Clearwing, or just a level 4 for Abyss Dweller, or just a body to make IP Masquereno with. So it's not too bad to play Vector. He's also a low scale. That's the other thing. I wanted options for, what if I've been disrupted to all high heck and everything? What if I just need to use Draco face-off to get a low scale? I would like to have the 3 option. There's a lot of 5 scales in the deck, which is awkward. I call them the mid scales, because sometimes 5 and 8 to summon your 7s is fine, or 2 and 5 to summon your level 4s is fine. Next mini package we got, Magispectors. Oh, not that. Bunbuku can search Bunbuku. I just wanted to max out on ways to find Kirin. Also note that Majesty Pegasus is a Magispector card, so you can search for that with Bunbuku for another route to your field spell if you really want. I don't have a Yamarashi, but maybe I should play one, because you could, if you don't have Joker and enough Supreme King Gate Magicians, or no Fenrir, no Face-Off, no Disablaster, coming up on that. No way to make 2 guys before Beyond the Pendulum, then you'll, I guess, do normal summon this and then pen summon everything else. Maybe you could go Bunbuku and Yamarashi to make Beyond first. It hasn't come up yet, though. This is just kind of like a side package, It's a bonus. Or you just search Bunbuku with Beyond the Pendulum, Pendulum summon it to get Kirin, and discard Kirin for Majesty Pegasus effect later. Next thing. Disablaster, the Negation Fortress. I do love this guy. You always want different levels for Beyond the Pendulum. This thing's easy to summon. You can scale it to shut down a whole column. You can pen summon it to shut down column of your choice. If it's not coming from the extra deck anyway. You can summon it with Exceed the Pendulum to suddenly negate a column, and so you have a sort of weird Omni negate with Exceed the Pendulum sometimes. Also machine dupe target, but let's save that for the Deskbots deck some other time. Let's get into some of the one-ofs here. Oh wait, not yet. Forgot about this. One more extension package. 3 Chronograph and the Time Gazer. Thank you TCG for letting us play 3 of these. Lol, I got 3 different rarities because, well, that's just what I have. I do have 2 Ultras, but I'd rather have 3 different rarities so I can get a feel for if I'm shuffling my deck effectively. And yeah, the Time Gazer is kind of a Garnet. It's terrible as a scale. It's unusable. Maybe you can negate it with Beyond the Pendulum, and that's your only chance it's going to be an 8 scale. After that, you have to get rid of it. Because a 4 scale, 0-4 scales, you can only pen summon your Magispector Bunbukus. You will not have a good time. But yeah, this can be a good high scale to search for with Beyond the Pendulum as well, because you can use this to recover from Nibiru, or just summon a body on turn 3. It's a good chump blocker in hand to summon more guys. He's just great. Okay, now the weird one-ofs. Celestial Magician, Black Fang, and Astrograph. Well, I mean, Astrograph is great even though we can't play Electromite, and I'm not playing Double Iris for like a high scale that'll destroy itself. Maybe I could just use Double Iris. Can you use Double Iris on turn 1? I don't know if you can, because there's no battle phase. We'll have to test on Master Duel, but I don't think you can. Yeah, I'm still playing this guy. I still never make this as my high scale, because you can't summon Vortex from grave because it wasn't fusion summoned. It was special summoned with Absolute Dragon. So you're probably not going to get to summon back a destroyed thing. He's mostly here for the monster effect. You can do the cheeky play with Harmonizing Magician to like put it under Abyss Dweller, detach, summon it back with Exceed, and then get the Omni Search at the end phase. Main reason it's in here is to just have a dark Pendulum to summon off Harmonizing Magician, so I can still make Supreme King Clearwing or Supreme King Dark Rebellion if that's in. Black Fang is still the best high scale because it summons Beyond the Pendulum or Astrograph or this from your graveyard. I actually used it to recover from Nibiru, where I would like Shriek Nibiru and destroy this, summon Beyond, and then like link with one more Pendulum monster for Exceed, add it back to hand, do it again, get another Beyond the Pendulum body from grave, and like make IP and maybe something else, that type of thing. An Astrograph I should set aside to demonstrate the Nibiru Vibe Check combo later. We're almost at the end of the 60 card main deck here. I'm maining Secret Village of the Spellcasters now. Shadows to Nord, who told me this card was bad, but then Jordan said, no, it's actually not bad. Even though there might be Relinquished Anima, or Link 2 Charmers, or Dio Bellstar the Black Witch, they'll have to play crooked. They can't just do Pot of Prosperity or Dark Ruler No More or Super Polymerization right away. They'll have to do silly stuff first. And with my board, I can probably try to remove their Spellcaster and just keep them under the lock. It's been amazing. It is such... like, this deck's main combo puts up a lot of monster interaction, but it's really nice to just activate this and not worry about spells. And now the last 4 cards is our non-engine, if you don't count the Kashtiras. We got the anti-hand trap stuff. So, the reason why Snake Eyes is casting such a giant shadow over the meta is because they get way too much for 1 card. So, full combo for them is just 4 hand traps and Snash. So, once they use 1 hand trap, they always use 1 frivolously before I make Beyond the Pendulum. Then I get to look at their hand and take the Nibiru out of it, or, if they're playing a boneless deck like Snake Eye, I take the bone out of their hand. Now they have 4 hand traps and no way to play when it's their turn. Or I can draw 2 if I've been disrupted too much. I can take a monster to break a board, link it off for Beyond the Pendulum. Maybe I should just be playing like Brain Control or, Snatch Steal, Change of Heart. Again, there's spell cards and can't be Pendulum summoned. It'd be hard to find the right ratio for like the right number, but I think it could be really strong. Okay, that's our main deck, all 60 of it. On to extra deck here. Doing 2 Beyond the Pendulum. It's nice to have a second one for turn 3. And for insurance versus Kashtira Unicorn, that hasn't come up yet, but it's really nice to just keep that in mind. Just not have to worry about it. Just power through Unicorn and destroy him anyway. I started playing IP Masquerena. I wasn't convinced at first, because I thought, I'm 1 body short. I have to make SP Little Knight right away. But Exceed the Pendulum is usually giving me 1 more body, and also importantly, this is my only Link 2 I can summon that doesn't demand all effect monsters. So I don't have to play Link Spider to turn Primal Being Token into an effect monster. Masquerade has just been great for flexibility. And of course we have Little Knight. These sideways arrows are great for Pendulum summoning over 2. And also just having some much needed removal from the graveyard, or just banishing anything from the field. Yeah, of course everyone knows about it. Don't have to say much more. Exceed the Pendulum. Playing 1 Exceed. Maybe a second would be better. I've never wished for it though. This is the actual boss monster of the deck. It's just an advantage engine. You just get a free body every main phase. And often these bodies get you more pluses. It's also a spellcaster with more than 2,000 attacks, so gonna be responsible for maintaining your Secret Village of the Spellcasters lock. We got Appaloosa and access code for Link 4s. Don't have to say much more. We got problems with attributes here. Everybody is dark. We have 1 light, so not a lot access code can destroy, unfortunately. Maybe when Electromite comes back, it'll be easier. I haven't made Appaloosa very much, but you kind of need it for Yubel, so you can like negate all their floaters and go for game. And we have a Link 5. I had this in the side for a while, but I made a switch that I'll talk about later. This is also nice to just have as like an IP Masquerena option. Like there's basically the only thing Pendulum can't deal with is towers. So it's nice to just have an option for that. Also, like, just read the rest of its effects. It's kind of amazing. It, like, permanent negates the rest of their field and stops special summoning from the graveyard, which is kind of on theme for Pendulum. It'll just stop your opponent from trying to recover in the very, like, simplified rock-throwing game state that this card creates. On to the Synchros. We got Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. It's good to have a level 7, and this is a good option versus Tenpai. I haven't made it in a while, but it could be a way to make a rank 7. It also could just be a nice end board piece versus Tenpai. You want one level 7 option because you can go Harmonizing to summon Time Gazer from your deck. Symphonic Warrior Rocks would be great, but I don't have one. Maybe next time. Here's our level 8s, Ignister Prominence and Supreme King Clearwing. This Raigeki's their field and gets 1 free win per battle phase that also hits them for the attack of their guy. So it's like a, you know, I guess I should say El Shaddai Construct, but all the Zoomers watching won't know what that is. More like King Stark, 1 free win per battle phase. This guy is some of the strongest removal in the game. It's similar to Madolche Tiramisu. You get to shuffle something into the deck without targeting. This is also how you, if you can synchro for this, you summon Majesty Pegasus from your deck and search any field spell you want. So level 8 synchro equals Secret Village. Simple as that.
He's using his own deck.
Onto the Ixies. We're just onto Abyss Dweller and Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon now. I think you would only negate attacks with this if you're under Shifter, and you know, it's not going to go to grave anyway. Might as well make it and hope it lives until the Shifter wears off. Dweller is really good in this format. The problem is there isn't any deck that can make it, except mine, where I Pendulum Summon my level 4s back. Okay, and the last 2 cards. Here's our Omni Negate. You have to send your Ixie summoned Absolute Dragon from the field to the grave to summon this out. It puts your stuff back in the deck. And last card in the extra deck is our good old Garnet, Clearwing Synchro Dragon. The best thing to send with Supreme King Gate Magician. Remember, you can send Black Fang from Face Up Extra to pay for that as well. This is the only Zark ingredient that can't be Bestialed, and I could realistically summon it. With, you know, it's a level 7 Synchro. It negates and destroys 2 Kashtira Offenders by itself. It's probably good. Okay, that's our main and extra. Onto the side, we got these 4 cards for going second right away. Not maining Pank anymore, unfortunately. I feel like Pank's actually been kind of underperforming. It used to be so amazing because you could like attack something and then tribute it to destroy something else. It just it merely existing puts a ton of pressure on your opponent. Or if you don't need it for any of that, it can also make Absolute Dragon. Yeah, as for this is a great low scale. It also just kind of outs Floodgates. You just crash it in the battle phase or destroy it with Ignis or Prominence, and it'll destroy another face-up card after. This is our second Draco Slayer. I cited in for going second because you can summon it from your deck with Ignis or Prominence, and then destroy that and shuffle something your opponent controls. And then when this is destroyed, it'll summon Majesty Pegasus from your deck and treat it as a tuner. And then it was special summoned with a Draco Slayer card, so you still get your field spell search and discard. I guess you could search like Necro Valley or just Raitsos to like have a Kashtira for next turn and a little stat boost. Maybe I'll come up with a better field spell. I looked at Way Where There's a Will, but I don't think it's good enough. We got Dragon Pit Magician. You probably want to scale this across from Purple Poison instead of SK Magician, because once you destroy SK Magician or replace it with Gate 0, this is no longer across from a Magician and its Pendulum effect can't be used anymore. But these two, Runic Stun stands absolutely no chance. If they destruction this, they're going to lose their Fountain or whatever else is face up. And then you just start discarding your Pendulum monsters and pecking all the troublesome Floodgates. Yeah. Also level 7, maybe you can make a rank 7 with it. We got Anti-Human Intelligence Misaya. This has 2,500 attack, so it's searchable with Pendulum Evolution. It's an extender. You can -1 from field or scale to summon it, but you don't want to leave it on the field because anything it sees get summoned will die in the end phase. You know, get put in a coffin, sent to the graveyard. I mostly have it here for the scale effect. It's like If people figure out to destroy your low scale, this is a good one to replace it with. Just like backup option for low scale. That'll also make stuff like Pearly and Unchained. Wait, not Unchained. I don't know. Monarchs. Runic, for sure. Runic will be extremely sad that their Runic spells are getting banished. Oops, I've been putting these in the main deck. Okay, let's go over there. I put Magispector and Nakomata in the side deck for going firster. It's one more way to maybe search for Kieran, and also gives Bunbuku the option to search for a low scale that you won't be embarrassed to scale. You know, you won't trap your Magispector Kieran as your low scale. Yeah, you can add it to your hand and then add Kieran that way, and then summon it from your hand with Exceed the Pendulum during the opponent's turn. It like never came up. Oh, here's another cute tech I thought of. Shyanka Magician. This would be a good thing to summon from your deck with Harmonizing Magician. Then you overlay with it to make your Absolute Dragon, and then you summon this from graveyard later with Exceed the Pendulum, and you can target Fiendsmith stuff and negate it. You can just target Fiendsmith Sequence, and oops, nothing getting fused. Here we got some silly field spells for going firster. Necro Valley, Summon Breaker, and Fire Prison. I don't want to main Necro Valley because I think it negates Exceed the Pendulum and Kashtira Birth because they might summon from the graveyard. Maybe it would help for breaking boards to keep like Promethean Princess and like Sky Striker Ray and other such things dead. Fire Prison is my hilarious counter to Tenpai because it says monsters cannot attack except Link monsters. And also if I'm just chilling on Exceed the Pendulum, they can't summon a Link 2. They have to go straight into a Link 3. Summon Breaker, I have never sided in. I should probably just replace this card with something else. But the problem with playing 60 cards is that whatever you side in, you're not going to see. Like, it's 60 cards, and I have no draw power. So really, it's just for tweaking the engine. Let me know if you think of something appropriate. And the last 4 cards are extra deck cards. I got Nightmare Phoenix and Tornado Dragon for more back row removal. I'm definitely prepared for a stun matchup. You may have also noticed that it's been going on for a long time now that every overpowered meta deck just has a really good spell, like Nightmare Pain or Divine Temple. They're always going to have something worth negating, something continuous, you know, something you want to destroy before they can use it. Also, there's potential Nightmare Phoenix, you know, the co-link effect to save your co-linked monsters from being destroyed by battle. Could be a funny IP Masquerena option. Okay, we're siding Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion. I have a love affair with this card. I used it to, you know, pick up their effect summoned Eldritch the Golden Lord and hit him for 6,000 damage, but currently we're in a meta where the strongest deck is a 0/0 that can't be destroyed by battle, so I haven't made this guy in months. It's a good option, but I'm only going to side it if I need it. Underworld Goddess is more useful generally. Last thing in the side deck, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend for time. You could swap out Abyss Dweller when going second to, you know, you could summon this with like any non-tuner. You don't just need like a, for Supreme King Clearing you need a dark level 4 Pendulum non-tuner. This can be made with anything, I guess, if you just want like a nice Raigeki effect. Problem is it'll destroy the rest of your stuff, but yeah, in time you can make this. You're at 6,800, but if you destroy 3 other monsters, your opponent will be at 6,500 and you'll win in time. Haven't done it in a while, but it's an option. Okay, real quick, I'll see if I can show off the Nibiru Vibe Check combo. So all you need is Pendulum Evolution and a way to get to Supreme King Gate Magician. And just have another Pendulum monster to shuffle in. So you just activate the Pendulum Evolution, scale the Supreme King Gate Magician, and then you shuffle your guy in to add Astrograph Sorcerer to your hand. Now when you destroy this and place the donut, you can get another one. Wow, I gotta access the Supreme King engine here. So yeah, put that in face up extra somewhere. Scale donut. Astrograph saw that, become summoned, and search another Gate Magician. Activate its hand effect to special summon it, and search for Zark support. Probably Lightworm here. Just for the sake of example, we'll search for a Lightworm. We can normal summon Lightworm, overlay these for the rank 7, and then you link off rank 7 and Lightworm for Beyond the Pendulum And this will be chain blocked against Iframe Gear Gamma and Ash Blossom. You go Chain Link 1 and then Chain Link 2 Absolute. You can't activate monster effects that this resolves anyway, so don't worry about your guy missing the timing. So what happens is you'll have Vortex on the field, and as long as you leave something in face-up extra, you'll be able to negate and destroy Nibiru after you Pendulum Summon. Your opponent will figure this out and they realize, I am forced to Nibiru before Pendulum Summon, which means you can still make a half-decent board. You can still make Secret Village if you set yourself up with a level 4 tuner and level 4 non-tuner, and something to discard. Usually a Pendulum monster, you can just summon it from grave anyway with Exceed the Pendulum, so you're not even minusing. Thank you so much for Exceed the Pendulum. Okay, I think that'll do it for the profile for now. Check me out on Twitch and YouTube. See you next time.